Creativity does not thrive on freedom. It thrives on constraints, limitations, and even intentional restriction. If you think unlimited creative freedom is your ultimate goal, you're fundamentally misunderstanding how creativity truly works. Today, we'll dive deeply into exactly why embracing strategic constraints can unlock your most profound creative breakthroughs. We've all been taught to chase unlimited freedom as the ultimate creative dream. Endless possibilities, limitless resources, and infinite choices. But paradoxically, too much freedom often paralyzes creators rather than empowers them. Freedom feels liberating, but it creates overwhelming possibilities and decision fatigue. Creators faced with unlimited choices often freeze, unable to move forward clearly. This creative paralysis happens precisely because there's no clear direction or boundary. In contrast, constraints, deadlines, limited budgets, genre boundaries, or stylistic rules force your creativity to focus. Constraints clarify what's important and what's relevant, prompting your brain to innovate effectively within clear limits. Early in my journey as a creator, I craved unlimited freedom. I thought if you could eliminate all constraints, time, budgets, rules, I would finally create my best work. At first, achieving total freedom felt amazing. I could create anything, anytime, any way I wanted. But quickly this freedom turned into a nightmare. With no boundaries or constraints, my work became random and inconsistent. Projects dragged on indefinitely. Songs were never finished, and content was constantly delayed. Decision fatigue became overwhelming. I spent countless hours debating minor details that didn't matter. My creative output became scattered and unfocused. Audiences couldn't clearly identify my style or message because every piece felt disconnected and random. Worse yet, unlimited freedom damaged my productivity and mental health. Anxiety and indecision became these consistent companions because I had no clear guidelines or deadlines driving my progress. Eventually, I felt creatively burned out, confused, and deeply frustrated. One day, after months of struggling through a particularly exhausting creative slump, I realized something critical. Unlimited freedom was my enemy, not my ally. I had misunderstood how creativity works fundamentally. Everything changed when I began intentionally applying constraints. I created clear boundaries for every project, specific timeframes, tight budgets, deliberate style guidelines, and clearly defined goals. Initially, constraints felt restrictive, but quickly I noticed my creativity flourishing dramatically. Each constraint forced me to think differently, innovate clearly and decisively rather than endlessly exploring unlimited options. This shift transformed my creative process. My output became focused, cohesive, and impactful. Projects completed faster, with greater clarity and stronger audience resonance. Ironically, constraints became the very thing that unlocked my deepest creativity and highest productivity. Why do constraints fuel creativity? Because the human brain naturally thrives on solving clearly defined problems. When you're faced with limitations, your brain activates its natural problem-solving capacity. Constraints stimulate innovation precisely because they force your mind to find solutions rather than endlessly exploring possibilities. Unlimited freedom often leads to decision fatigue and creative paralysis. Constraints force your brain into solution-oriented thinking, making you more innovative, efficient, and creative. Here's exactly how you can strategically use constraints to boost your creativity today. Set clear boundaries for every project. Time limits, budgets, or stylistic rules. Regularly introduce new and intentional limitations to stimulate fresh thinking and innovation. Use constraints as a creative tool. Each limitation should clarify your decisions and accelerate your productivity rather than limit your options. By embracing constraints intentionally, you'll unlock more consistent, powerful, and focused creativity. In my book, The Art of Power, I expand even further on how to strategically leverage constraints for growth, innovation, and success. I share personal experiences, lessons, and practical frameworks developed through trial and error, so you don't have to. If you found today's insights valuable, the book provides actionable guidance and deeper understanding on transforming constraints from obstacles into strategic advantages. If this conversation challenged your thinking or inspired action, subscribe right now. My goal each week is to share unconventional, powerful insights that help you elevate your creativity, influence, and long-term success. Thank you so much for your attention and time. I genuinely appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next video.